People have changed, that's for sure. That's one obvious thing. The obvious things are pretty obvious. The economy is bad. Marriages are seen as a bad thing now. That's the obvious. What else? People are more closed now. That's obvious in general. Most places, most sectors have been monopolized. That's obvious as well. So what are not the very obvious things, but they're very common? I think it's talking to older women. I talk to older women just as friends, and I realize that these people are quite they're not too much attention seeking. At least the ones that I talk to, they're not very attention seeking. Not as much as the young women. The young women, most of them, many of them, I shouldn't say most, many of them are attention seeking. And the older women are just lacking a lot. They're lacking rather than seeking attention. They're kind of depressed by how much they are lacking. They are depressed by how much they're not being seen by society and by men in general. So the way that the current towns run, the cities run, the people in general as a whole, they see each other very external based. Externally has gotten a lot of traction and temporary value a lot. So a lot of people are basing their value off how they look on the exterior, how people approach them, the first impressions, the temporary engagement, the temporary impressions that people make of you. That's what is very focused on, the current society. And this makes older women lack a lot of social care, and a lot of people don't speak to them. People don't see them, they don't consider them much these days. I don't know what the reason why is. I don't know if because we're on social media, we see a lot of content, and there's a lot of people that that are young, that are successful, that are I don't know, because that's what you usually see. You don't see the average boring people on social media, especially. They don't usually blow up. So because of that, you see a lot of people that aspire to be special. Even if you're a normie, you try to be special. That's what you feel like you're lacking. So the older women, the people in general, so men in general, more so in this case, because men talk to women, they have opposites attract, opposite genders attract. And in this case, a lot of older men, because they see a lot of young women, even on the internet, they don't speak to older women. 40-year-old men don't usually speak to older women. It's very strange. And I feel like a lot of people my age, 25, 30, maybe 20, speak to older women. It's interesting. One of the reasons why is because I don't know. I'm not going to get into that. I actually don't know the reason why it is. The reason for the old people, for the older men, they're behaving cold to these women, basically. They are behaving like these older women are not relevant because you got access to younger women. You have access. You believe if you can DM them, like a 40-year-old man, let's say a normie, probably a normie, he DMs a younger woman, and he thinks that he has a chance. He thinks that because we're talking, this can go somewhere, right? They have that kind of assumption, and that's not good because it's false validation, false whatever it's called. And so so they don't talk to older women. You know, at the pubs, yeah, I do see older men speak to older women and whatnot, okay? But I'm talking regular everyday places, people that work places, people that go to the park, for example. See loads of guys that are 25, 30 that speak to older women, but not the older men, not the 40, 50s. And they're out, looking about the 25, 20-year-olds. But people in general, they are tired. They are they want it, but they're not pursuing it. Many people. They like the bubbles that they're in. There's a lot of people that are living in bubbles, that are living in their own routines and comfortable with it and don't want to interact with the things around them, the people around them and whatnot. It's not necessarily seen as like, okay, if you want to speak to the people around you, you just want to, you're a social person, you want to get to know the things around you, you're that kind of vibrant, character, whatnot. You're youthful, that's what it means. I think this is wrong. I think it's not actually that way. It's actually, one, you have to be curious about the things around you, of course. And two, you need to not be assuming of people from the get-go. Just step number one, assuming people. Step number two, assuming. And three, not get too comfortable in your bubble, not get too comfortable in the kind of lifestyle that you're living in. And that's currently what's happening. The trend is people are comfortable where they are and what they do. They don't want to kind of break that. And I don't know if it's this way after a certain age of men. Usually it happens after someone turns 30. I'm not sure because I haven't reached that age. But that's the trend that I see nowadays, that I kind of didn't see 10 years ago. I didn't see this, It's pretty sad. It's pretty sad that I just talk to people that are 40 years old, 50 years old women, and they're in awe, they want to, some of them, of course not all of them, some of them actually want to date me, some of them actually want to, be in bed with me, not only because of those kind of reasons, but because they feel special, they feel seen, they feel like they're lacking love, attention, care, relevance. Relevance is a crucial word. They're lacking relevance. It's like like a person in general lives, and they're not seen. They're not seen as relevant. It's quite a bad thing, regardless of if it's women or if it's men. And that's the thing that is that I'm thinking about. That hurts. It's that way. Of course, there are some bad women that are older, definitely, and some of them they deserve not being relevant, not being talked to. But there's too many at the moment. That's what I see. There's too many. Purely based on this woman can't provide me value, so why should I speak to her? She can't get pregnant, so why should I speak to her? It's not like I'm going to marry her, so why should I speak to her? It's very, very consumer based. The current times that most people don't talk about is very consumer based. Everything is too much consumer based. And you see people around that call consuming, going to Greg's, going to the food warehouse, whatnot. Iceland, going to get some food, going to get some drinks, go to a cafe, whatnot. Cafe as life, you know, socializing in cafe as life. This is life. And it's not, I don't think so. It's, life is not this, you know, life is not consuming. You know, the art has died. That's what I see. And I don't know too much about the industry. I know a little bit, tiny bit. But that's what I see in general life. The art has died. The art of football has died. The art of movie making has died. The art of films has died. The art of people interacting, socializing, being in groups, being united, being in teams has died. That's what I see. The social structure has died. The dignity has died. It has. The art of many things have died. And it's caused a lot of emptiness. It's caused a lot of routines. People are in a lot of routines to fill up and cover the empty spaces inside of their soul or maybe inside of their mind. And it's causing a lot of empty lives. And when a lot of people have empty lives, a big portion of them, they strive to have any connection with anyone that has some sort of life, you know, anything. You paint, wow, that's so fascinating, you know. It's even though they had no interest in painting, for example. It's the current climate is like that, you know. But I know that in the past, maybe 10, 15 years ago, whatever, definitely people were way more selective. You know, they were more selective with the types of people that had the types of hobbies that they liked and whatnot. But now it's not. Now it's, as long as you have some sort of life, tangible life, you're connecting with things around you. That's what it means. Then I want to be friends with you. I want to have connection with you. I want to go out with you. And consequently, I want to have some coffee with you. I want to go out, you know, that kind of go out. Life is boring. I think life in the 20th decade is boring for many people. That's what I see. And that boringness is making people, you know, many people in their bubbles, many people in routines, many people just go too many times into the gym, too many times into a cafe. Have you noticed that? You've definitely got friends or family that just do things too much now because they have no other life. They just depend on it, kind of. Because life is boring, that's why. The range has limited and tightened. Yeah. Anyway, how's your days going? How's your week going? Do you talk to family much? Do you visit different towns in your country? Do you read books? Do you like driving? You know, I like driving a lot. I feel very at peace. I feel like I'm flowing with the road. Especially these kind of like 5 a.m. drives, or like when the sun rises and sunsets. It's the best. Those kind of drives. The drives that are definitely on roads that are more secluded areas is the best compared to, you know, the cities have their charms as well, but they get boring for me. They get very, I don't know what to call it. You don't get into the zone for some reason, less compared to those kind of roads. Yeah. If I had more money, I would probably be driving more. I'd probably be with my car going to different parts of Europe right now and taking trains, taking not very much flight trips, you know. It's got nothing to do with the money, it's got to do with how I would spend the money, so what I would like to do. And it would be that. I love car journeys, you know, I love it. I don't care even if it obviously when it's 20-hour car journeys, it's very, very tiring and whatnot. Yes, I know that. And I don't like some of it as well. I'm not saying that I do. But I like it in general, as in I go to the hotel, I stay there for maybe a day, and then I go again for 8 hours and whatnot. I love that. And yeah, way more than a plane journey. I could go to the same destination, plane journey or a car ride, and maybe take some hotels, obviously, along the way if it's far. 100% I would prefer the car ride. And not everyone's like that, I know. Which is okay. That's probably what I would be doing. I would be probably investing into like accommodations for people. So for students, for elderly, I definitely would be doing that. I would love to get into like a project where I'd be fixing up different sorts of properties, or maybe making a new building, learning how to do that if I had enough money and whatnot. I'd be investing my time to do those kinds of things to make it like a good habitable place for the elderly, for example. And I'd like change the rents and make them more like kind of more affordable yet very convenient. Still I'm earning good money. I would be thinking about that as well. That's probably what I'd be doing to learn that area, because I know nothing about that area. I know nothing about renovating and building properties and doing the architecture inside, internal layout and whatnot. But I'd love to know that. There's a lot of things that, you know, require money. What would you do for money? You know, if you had a lot of money, what would you do with that money? Some hobbies that you'd take. I'd go to definitely F1 trips, F1 races and whatnot, and experience that. Yeah. It's reality. The reality of today is hobbies are for the rich. Really, really true. Many hobbies are just for the rich if you have money. If you want to race, just for the rich. If you want to do some proper tennis, rich. Golf, mostly like rich, you know, like, I don't know. I'm not going to be going on no golfing tour. Like, people got stuff to do, you know. When you're the part of the workforce, these kinds of people, they wouldn't be having so much time with golf and stuff like that. So that's what you need. You need flexibility. Flexibility, you need money for flexibility. And that's the current climate. In the past, people had a bit more rooms to spare, a bit more, you know, time to go on holidays, a bit more time to be, you know, loose, you know, spend the money loosely, maybe overspend by 50%, maybe 2 times, 5 times. But now it's definitely not that like that for most people. Definitely not. And it's caused like I don't know why people are not doing anything about this. I really don't. I really don't get it. Where is the passion? I'm fed up of seeing these same things over and over again. Costa coffee, whatnot. You know, just I want like changes. I remember when I was a kid, I used to get very excited to go IKEA. IKEA was like a mecca for me because it was so fun to just explore different. I wasn't thinking about products and stuff like that because when you go into a typical shop, it's like typical products that you would see. Everything is a product. But in IKEA, it felt like an adventure. It felt like a different world, and the layout of it, different rooms, different lifestyle types, different color palettes of kitchens and whatnot. Just lifestyle, you know. The lifestyle has been stripped away. That's how I feel. Yeah. I don't want to be sad. I definitely don't want to be sad, but I just that's the reality. The reality is it's boring. The reality is we're missing the things that we had, not just because of nostalgia, but because it actually had soul. It actually had art behind it. Art is part of soul. It's very, very deeply connected, and we're missing a lot of it. The art, in many sectors, in many realms of, everything has been mostly stripped away, it's gone. I hope this video meant something to you. I hope you're doing well. I hope better things happen to you. I hope that you're seen. I hope that you feel relevant, that you can, be yourself, because that's what is lacking a lot I see around me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next.